Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I just had the opportunity to take a vacation with my family, including my beloved grandchildren. We had a wonderful time exploring the world, seeing new things. But when I returned home, I thought, what are some prepping supplies that I need to make sure that I have so that I can always keep my family safe? That's the whole reason to be a prepper, is that you can make sure that every day is the best it can be and that you can take care of and protect those that you love on a day-to-day basis. Nobody knows what's coming. We could have a simple emergency from a power outage, job loss, somebody is sick, weather events like hurricanes, tornadoes, snowstorms, even earthquakes. There are so many things that could give us challenges in the world. Why wouldn't you want to prepare to take care of the people that you care about the most? What did you see?
Whale.
Where did you see the whale?
Fun. What is it there?
What's he swimming in?
In the ocean.
Then as preppers, we also want to be stockpiling the life-sustaining foods, the longest-lasting foods. They're easy to pick up in a small bag, in a big bag. You can put them into a jar, stuff them into a bucket, seal them in a Mylar bag, and you want to get foods like beans and rice, lentils, pasta. These foods are life-sustaining. They can last for many, many years, but you need to store them in an airtight container. It can be as simple as a pasta sauce jar that you've cleaned yourself, let it dry well, and then you can store your food in there. But make sure that you're stocking up on the longest lasting foods. I don't think we're ever going to run out completely of food, but if we can't get as much as we want, or we can't afford it, we don't have as much variety, we can prepare some of these basic foods and then help that extend the other food that we have in our pantry. We can grow in our garden, we can forage for other foods. That gives us the opportunity to make bigger, better meals, stretch the foods we have with these filler type foods that can last for many, many years. Then if you can't just store beans and rice and pasta and oatmeal, things like that, you should also be using some of them so that you understand how to prepare them, how to use them. So occasionally make meals using especially your dried beans, because that can be a learning curve to see how much water it takes to make those foods and how long it takes. Then you need preparation time. Maybe you need your crock pot. You need to put them on the stove for hours at a time. They need a long time to cook. So be aware of that and make sure that you're also stockpiling water so that you'll be able to cook these long-term dried foods. Next, we want to make a meal plan. You can plan your meals for, say, a week. Then when you go to the store, buy doubles of those foods so that you have a 2-week supply. Then you can use 1 whole week's worth of food and store the other one in your prepper pantry. Then the next time you go to the store, do it again. Plan for 1 week and buy enough food for 2 weeks. And if that seems like it's too much money, you can't afford it, at least when you pick up 1 item for this week, buy 1 extra one so you can put it away. That if you do that every time you go to the store, after a year of going to the store, you'll have a huge supply of extra food that you can make meals for your family. I always figure every extra can of food that I have is another meal I can have in the future. You also want to make sure that you're making a variety of those foods. Don't just add a can of chili every week or a bag of dried beans every week, because then if really times become hard, you don't have any variety, and then what are you going to do? You want to have a variety of foods. Get something like chili 1 week, cereal the next week, pasta sauce, a can of soup. Make sure that you have a variety of all of the foods that you would want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that you have easy to prepare meals that you can make for your family. It doesn't have to be complicated to add to food storage. You just need a few little strategies. And make sure that you're only buying foods that you enjoy eating. Don't buy foods simply because they're cheap if you don't like them. You don't want to go to your pantry one day and the only thing you have left to eat is something that you don't like. Why wouldn't you put in foods that you do like? That's what I try to do. I know I have foods that aren't my favorites because they're favorites of other people in my family, and I try to make sure that I have varieties of foods that everyone would enjoy. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I have food that I want to eat too. Keep your car gas tank full. Don't let it go below a half. Have some cash on hand, get some small bills. So then if something happens that the power stops running and you need to get something at the gas station or the grocery store, if the computers aren't working, they can still take cash a lot of times, and you don't want to give them a 20. If something costs $2, they're not going to have change. But if you can peel off some 1s, 5s, 10s, have that extra cash on hand. It can be really critical to have in an emergency situation. Prepare now while we have time. We know that things are becoming more dangerous, more hardships on all of us, but we have that warning that we know we need to prepare. So make it a plan to have the things that you need, that you can stay in your home if you need to, but also have a bug out bag so if you need to evacuate from a hurricane, a tornado, a forest fire, or a power outage with an ice storm when your power might be out for 2 weeks. You have then an emergency bag you can grab and go and have several days worth of supplies in your emergency bag. We have the warning to prepare, we have the knowledge how to prepare, so let's put that into action and make sure that we're ready to face things that are going to come to us no matter where we live or who we are. We're going to have challenges ahead.
Do you like your milk in a pitcher?
Yeah.
I hope you'll like my video, share my video, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.
Little baby fish next all over. All the little white ones. Those are also jellyfish. The white ones. Jellyfish.
It's right by the Filipino restaurant at Kentucky side.
Yeah, they're gonna cook it.
Para makalitan one.
Wow. Right.
Right under the Filipino flag.